Welcome to Interview Style, a daily dose of whatever. Iris and I are trying this new thing because Iris has decided that we need to post way more than... Wow.
We're leveling up in 2026.
Interview style and spoiler-free. So today's topic is Ne Zha 2 and animation through the cracks, i.e. the general state of feature-length animation and its place in cinema. Amination? Why would I? Anyway, do you know about Ne Zha 2?
How do you pronounce it?
Ne Zha, as evidenced in the trailers. Ne Zha. Ne Zha. That's not an Asian accent. Mulan. Now I have to see if I'm the same age or older than Mulan's dad.
You're obsessed.
Oh, this is terrible. Ne Zha 2 made over $2 billion in China. It was released in, Chinese, Cantonese, Mandarin. I'm not sure. I think it's Mandarin, sorry. And then it was dubbed with celebrity voices and re-released. It didn't make a splash because it has heavily, it's Chinese themes.
What do you mean it didn't make a splash?
Here in America. Like, you don't know about Ne Zha 2? Did you see Ne Zha 2? Did you see Ne Zha? I have to stop saying that title, which is available on the streaming platforms. Anyway, the point is, it wasn't nominated for anything for Golden Globes, not even listed for Best Animate. Like, they have this silly category, achievement in motion pictures, cinematic or financial box office achievement.
Yeah, the box office award. Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's terrible. It's because they're like, why doesn't Armageddon get nominated? Well, now they have a Golden Globes category for that. But animation, I think, is falling by the wayside as a serious art form. It was
Armageddon? Boy, does that date you.
I know. See, I'm older than Mulan's dad.
Mulan.
But the point I'm trying to make is that animation it's been bumped from the Best Picture category. That's not true. Some of them still make it to the Best Picture category, but it's now relegated to Best Animated Feature, both in Golden Globes and Oscars. And I found that weird. The other one that I'm hung up on is Robot Dreams, which was nominated in 2024. It was a 2023 film, to my knowledge, still not available to U.S. audiences. But it was nominated for the American Oscars, which is kind of weird. So in looking at the nominations for the past, 5 years, it turns out that we have seen a lot of it. But do you feel like animation has sort of fallen through the cracks of movies? Like it's a less serious... I think you know my position. Is it a less serious movie form? And what place does it have in cinema today? Is it serious, or is it, to a lot of people's minds, just cartoons?
Well, I think the point of this conversation is that Ne Zha 2, grossing over $2.2 billion, I would say that that's pretty serious by anyone's account. If you're talking box office potential, like, it's serious. And I noticed that Ne Zha was in the top 5, in the top 10, maybe in the top 5 of highest grossing films of all time.
Yeah.
But then it's in the company of lots of other animated films. Lion King, of course, stuck out to me because that was a huge hit when I was in high school. Beauty and the Beast, some of those 90s, like big Disney 90s hits, but there were other animated movies up there too. Zootopia 2 is not far behind. Like, I think in terms of box office, the answer is obvious. Yes, this is a serious art form, or at least a serious business.
I'm also realizing, looking at this list, is that these animated features are evergreen. Like, they're not contemporary movies, and I think contemporary movies are largely because they don't have the budget for smaller independent movies. Certainly there are contemporary bigger movies or whatever, but hairstyles and clothes betray new movies that date poorly. Whereas animation, The Lion King, obviously stuff that's animals and anthropomorphic stuff, is a little bit more timeless. And they mean for these Disney classics to have long, appeal through the decades. And I wonder if that is, hedging a little bit.
Yeah, so you're saying that for the quote-unquote timeless stories, it's the technology that actually dates them. Whether it's hand-drawn or it's computer-generated or it's this uncanny in-between, like with the Lion King live-action example, where it's talking lions and supposedly in a live action environment, but basically just very realistically animated. I remember what the question is, but I think that going back to Ne Zha 2, like it seems like the kind of animation style that you would refer to as being less than, and yet it's an animated movie intended for an adult audience, and an animated movie that's now available on streaming in the U.S. This was on your radar. Have you seen Ne Zha 1 or Ne Zha 2 on HBO Max?
I was tempted. I have issues with the dubs, the American dubs, because it so obviously doesn't match on screen. I'm glad that we live in a world where most of the movies that we watch are movies from our country, and thus we don't have to deal with the awkwardness of language dubs, where I think a lot is lost. And so when it was released, I would be like, oh, let's go see it in its original language. But by the time it disappeared and came back in a dubbed version, I was like, no, this is just a money-making ploy.
Is it a dub situation if it's animation? I mean,
yes.
It's more it's just a different vocal track. It's not like where you get the lip flap you do in live action.
Well, that's because in Hayao Miyazaki Japanese films, the mouth has two positions, opened and closed. And then there's a line for smiley and frowny, so it doesn't matter. But in more modern animation, especially when people are more expressive, characters, it kind of matters. And also there's, when you bring Billy Bob Thornton in to record the old dude for Princess Mononoke, he just kind of talks like this. And
it kind of sounds like Billy Bob.
It seems like a hustle. And of course, everybody sounds like everybody. It's meant to be, that's a familiar, comforting voice that we can lose ourselves in. But we've discussed how ridiculously expensive and labor and intensive animation is to be kind of sidelined. And it's like, this took us 6 years and nobody saw it. Last year, I'm looking at Wild Robot, Inside Out 2, Flow, Wallace and Gromit. I didn't see Wallace and Gromit, but I had never even heard of, I did not even recall until this moment, Memoir of a Snail. You and I are never going to see that movie. That movie probably cost a fortune to
Wasn't
make.
it Academy nominated?
This is what I'm saying. I'm not paying attention to Golden Globes. This is for last year, and as of this recording, the Academy nominations haven't been released for animated, but where is that movie? Like, now they're going to decide not to promote it or to make it available, even though it probably cost a ton and took years to make? It's a conundrum. Only the sneak watches all the animated stuff.
Well, not everyone needs to watch it in order for it to be successful. We're in a long-tail content consumption environment where if enough people watch it, then it's probably worthwhile. I think that if enough people continue to go out and see animation, more people will continue to make it, and there will be breakout hits like Ne Zha 2, which I, after researching, want to watch with my daughters.
And this is the whole point. What we're doing in this new, hopefully daily segment is that if this helps to promote movies, if one person out there listening is like, oh yeah, because we're talking about something, I'm going to go watch that movie or watch any movie, then we have done our jobs.
So check out our future review on Ne Zha 2 at orwhatevermovies.com.
One of these days.
Or wherever you get podcasts.
Yeah. Goodbye. I love you.
That's so weird. Don't say that.
Leadership. The final frontier. These are the voyages of the Starfleet Leadership Academy. Its ongoing mission to develop leaders through Star Trek. To boldly go where no podcast has gone before. A leadership development podcast told through the lens of Star Trek. The Starfleet Leadership Academy.
Electricast.
Hello, folks. Earl Breon here, host of the Responsible Leadership Podcast, part of the Best Business Network on Electricast. You're looking for a show to bring you some of the best leadership advice from some of the top thought leaders around the globe. This is the show for you. You can find us on all the podcast platforms of choice or on social media by following me, Earl Breon. B-R-E-O-N.
Electricast. Electricast.